Hey everyone, this is Ashley from the Mito podcast. This episode is a little bit about what my family has been going through. It talks a little bit about grief, about the loss of a loved one, and there are a few tears. So I hope that you guys can listen in. Hi, you're listening to the Mito podcast. This is Ashley.
And I'm Megan.
And today we are going to talk to you guys about a couple things that kind of been going on in our lives. One of the reasons that we haven't podcasted in a while. Is that the right phrase? Podcasted?
I don't know, but that could be a new term that we just created.
If it's not, it is now. So in my life, my sister-in-law, Jen, she was diagnosed with cancer on her birthday in June. And things just went really, really fast, faster than we were expecting. There was a lot of mix-ups with doctors, which kind of gives me flashbacks to my Mito days with Angie and just being an advocate and fighting insurance, fighting doctors, fighting hospitals. It was just, it was a lot. And it wasn't me, obviously, it wasn't necessarily my fight. It was my sisters and my sister-in-law. But it was a struggle, and it was really hard to watch someone else go through what I went through, or even just a glimmer of what we went through with Angie. And it really broke my heart because we just have a really broken system. And you don't ever want to see anyone go through that. And then it hurts that much more when it's your loved ones. And Jen was a very, very just amazing person. She was one of my closest friends, and I'm really lucky that my sister met her and that they started a life together. But things just went really quick, and it was really hard to watch this person who was always positive, always had good things to say. She was always the person to give you the best advice. It's like, how could so much knowledge be crammed into one little tiny person? Because she was super tiny. Like her normal was, I don't know, 110 pounds, if that wet. Yeah. 5 foot. She was just like, her and my sister, just like the perfect little couple. And they had 2 beautiful little girls.
Don't tell Julian that.
Yeah, I think he'd be okay with it. 2 beautiful little kids, a boy and a girl, Julian and Joelle. And it was just hard to watch their family fight this. And it was just, so Jen went through chemo. She ended up in the hospital in November. And when she got out, I mean, everything had been going downhill since the moment essentially that she got diagnosed. We were never really given a timeline. We were never really given exactly what cancer she had, because she had cancer in a few different areas. And every time she had a new scan, it was like they'd find something new that they just hadn't looked for before. Like it could have been there, but they just didn't look for it. So it was difficult, to say the least. But she ended up passing away right before Christmas. And I mean, I'm thankful it wasn't on Christmas, but it still puts that shadow over the holidays. And it was just a really hard time to get through.
Absolutely. Well, I only had the privilege of meeting her, I think, twice, but she was such a beautiful person. She was so sweet. And like you said, she just seems very positive and just had a nice smile all the time. And
yeah,
just seemed like a wonderful person.
Yeah, she was, is. And it's different navigation. Like I lost my dad a little over 6 years ago. I lost Angie a little over 3 years ago. And now losing Jen, like each of those people, it's been just a completely different experience. And each of them were people who like lit up a room that had smiles that just like you don't forget them.
Yeah.
So it's been hard. It's been hard too, just to watch the kids. Joelle is going to be 3 and Julian's going to be 6 soon. And seeing what that's going to do to them. How are they going to react to their mom being gone? And it's one thing to like my dad was, I mean, he wasn't old by any means, but he was older and he had a life, and I can like put logic to that. Angie, there's obviously no logic. She shouldn't have ever passed away, but I knew she was terminal and we had time to grieve that before she passed. So we were set up for it, but Jen was only 45, and it is just crazy to me that no matter what disease, like it's how do we not have cures? It just goes right back to that. Like we can, like Andrew just broke his hand. He's got like rods and screws and metal and everything going through his hand to make it work again. And we've figured that out. So it's just strange. I mean, I'm not a doctor, obviously. I have no science background, no medical background, and my brain can only wrap around like the smallest things, but it just seems crazy that we have all of these capabilities. We've invented all of these amazing things, but we can't combat cancer or Mito. I mean, I know Mito's a little bit more complicated, but it's just nuts.
I know. Yeah. I think, we being people that are in rare disease or, which is different from cancer, but, it's like we see where all these fundraising and all this money goes to so many different things. And it's like,
yeah.
And I'm sure there's an argument for everything, but how about saving lives and
yeah.
Trying to
Yeah, that's another good like thing to bring up. It's really hard to see that all this money get thrown away for research, for doing this, for doing that. You're like, okay, why are people still dying? It's hard. And it's hard just grasping that and finding your new reality. You get so comfortable and you bond with so many people throughout your life. And when someone that's integral leaves, it is really hard to come to get to a new normal because it's not a normal that you want.
No.
You're happy with your life before, you're happy with that person. Then being just taken away from you it's a really difficult thing to wrap your head around, to grasp, to normalize.
And I think like what you said, like with your father, when people are older, of course, you don't want that and you don't expect that. But like you said, they've lived their lives. But when we talked about earlier, how we've heard of so many people just at a younger age passing away, of course, children, that's, of course, that's just horrible. But even 45, 46, just these young ages that like you still have a whole life to live. And I think that's one of the things a lot of times when we go to doctors and different things and they'll say, oh, you're not old enough to have that, or that's not necessarily, you're not likely to get that. We'll start testing you when you're 50 or 55. But I'm always very much because, I have a very close friend that had breast cancer, when she was in her late 30s. And it's like, no, this does happen. And for no reason, sometimes without a genetic background, without anything that would, signal this. So, we should be checking these things. Don't just put it off because of age, because that,
because it's not, we're going back to normalizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, who made the rule that that's the normal age to get checked for things? Like, we should be checked for things no matter what age we are. We should. I wish that concierge medicine was more of a thing, because then you could just get every workup possible, know exactly what's going on in your body, and we just don't have a system where Like you have to wait till something's extremely wrong for things to start going right. And then sometimes it's too late.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. That's the problem. And a lot of it has to do with insurances and things. And obviously, when they look at an average of, okay, well, how many people actually get cancer at this age or have breast cancer or have colon cancer at this age? And, but it's, so what if it's 50 people, save those 50 people, screen them early, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. And then it also it brings me to thinking about like, I mean, we talk to a lot of Mito families with kids that have like with siblings, and like learning how to talk to Julian and Joelle the correct way of explaining death. I mean, your kid, your brain cannot wrap around that yet. I mean, it can, obviously, you can do logic and just say, like, there's life, there's death, whatever, like, that's it. And for people who maybe have like more of a religious background, I'm not going to say it's easier, but you have something that is almost graspable, like a story, like you could not, and I don't mean to offend anyone that's listening to the podcast by any means. I just mean there's a different way of explaining what death is and afterlife and all whatever it is that you believe in.
There's still that moment you will see that person again. You'll be reunited with that person again at some point.
Yeah, but explaining that to a child, like even if that's is or isn't your way of belief, they can't, there's no fact, right? There's like they believe things as I see you, you're in front of me, I can touch you, I can feel you, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So when do I get to see mom again? Like, so I am going to see her, like feel her, touch her, listen to her. And the answer is always going to be no. That's not how it will be. It'll be different, but you can't, it's so hard. Like there's such a fine line of explaining that to a little one. And I just got my eyes open to a lot of different like literature, like children's books that are out there to kind of help navigate how you want to teach your child what death really means. And like there's one book, I don't even know what the name of it is, but about having a string attached to your heart, and there's always these invisible strings attaching you to the people that you love. And it's just, and then you have to get every single person on board. It's not like something that only mama can tell Joelle or Julian. It's mama and nana and papa and uncle and auntie, and everyone has to, it's a lot of people to have to teach to say the right thing, because you don't want to tell a kid, oh yeah, mom went to sleep and she just never woke up, because then the kid's going to be scared terrified to go to sleep. Yeah. And luckily we haven't, or at least not that I know of, had to combat that, but it's very easy to say the wrong thing. It's already easy to say the wrong thing when someone passes away. Like you just,
absolutely,
you will never ever be able to say the right thing. Like, and the person that is grieving, unfortunately, you have to understand, people will put their foot in their mouths, and you just have to give them a grace. Like they just won't be able to say the right thing. I mean, I've been through a lot of loss in my life, and I don't know what the right thing is to say. I feel like an idiot. I always want to reach out to someone or say something, and I'm like, God, I've got nothing. I don't want to not reach out. I don't want you to think I'm not thinking of you, but my heart just hurts for you. So it's a hard thing to navigate. Death and grief, and losing Jen was just a whole new challenge that I was not prepared for. I'm still not prepared for.
Yeah.
And I totally took over this whole podcast. I'm sorry.
That is just fine.
We were gonna split. I think we'll just split this podcast into two then. Because I totally took over. But it's just been it hasn't even been a full month, and it's just been really hard. And it's been hard to see my sister struggle, and like knowing, like when I lost Angie, there's just times where you're going to be okay. And I don't mean that lightly. You're not okay. There's never a point that you're okay. But there's times where you seem and you feel and you think, okay, I got this, I'm okay. And then 1 minute, it could be the left field, nothing happened, nothing. You look at a cup.
Yeah.
And it just slaps you in the face, and all of a sudden you're just overcome with this uncontrollable grief, and you cannot stop the tears. And the only thing that, for me, I don't try to stop them. I just cry and I cry. And if I just can't handle the day, I go into Angie's room, because it's still Angie's room. It's still set up. And I just sit in there until I can't, like, not anymore, until the tears dry up, or I need to drink some water because I'm super dehydrated. But it comes in waves, and there's gonna be days that suck and days that you can breathe okay. And it's okay to smile. It feels like guilty to smile, but it's okay too. It doesn't make you happy without them, but you have to be able to find a way to get through this life, the rest of this life, without them. It sucks.
Yeah. I can't imagine, because I haven't necessarily been through the same thing with either Angie or Jen, but
no, but you do know what it's like to lose someone.
Yeah. And like you said, it's definitely, you'll be doing just fine and going forward. And like you said, looking at a cup, I think, because when I think about this, I think about my brother that I lost, and just hearing a song, or even, seeing a ridiculous part in a movie, or just little things, and you're just like, you're gone. It's just, it just brings it back full force. And yeah, I myself, you can ask my husband, I'm not a big crier, but there's, like you said, there's just times where you have to let it go. You just have to let it happen.
And sometimes the opposite happens. Like a song will come on and you just get a smile on your face, because you're like, oh, it makes you feel like they're there with you, or at least you want it to feel like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so that was the end of 2022. It was traumatic. It was, without a better way of saying it, really fucked up.
Yeah.
My family lost just an amazing person, an amazing supporter, and she was actually one of the very few people that Angie would let hold her. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
We have a picture of our family, and slowly everyone is just dying off. And it's just hard to see all those people not with you. And all the pictures I have of Jen holding Angie, it just it gets you a different. Like, a friend of my sister's made this picture, and it's so beautiful, but it's so funny because Jen's wearing this taco shirt. It's literally a shirt with just tacos all over it. And she's holding Angie, and her friend changed the background to where it's just all clouds, and Jen has these beautiful angel wings, and she was holding Angie, and Angie's got these like cute little baby, almost fluorescent angel wings with her. And it's heartbreaking and touching at the same time. I'm just thinking of the two of them hanging out. But so yeah, so 2022, we had to take a break for a minute.
Yes.
But thank you guys for listening. And we will talk to you guys soon.